She never cheated on me. To cheat, she would have needed to call me her boyfriend first. For 7 years, Natalie Reed kept me close enough to solve every problem in her life and far enough away to deny that I had any place in it. I paid her rent when she lost her job. I built the website that turned her beauty brand into a company. I picked her up when her first love disappeared. I canceled dates whenever she said she needed me. And every time I finally asked what we were, she gave me the same answer. I'm not ready yet, Joey, but please do not leave me. So I stayed. Then one Friday night, I walked onto the rooftop I had rented for her company launch and found Natalie wearing a white dress beneath a wall of roses. She was not standing alone. Evan Cross had one hand around her waist. The man she had spent 7 years claiming she was over leaned down and kissed her while 200 guests applauded. A giant screen behind them lit up with the words, "Natalie and Evan, forever starts now." I was still holding the folder that contained the final transfer for the event deposit. $80,000. My savings, my emergency fund. The money Natalie had told me would keep her company alive until the investors arrived. Evan noticed me first, pointed across the rooftop and said, "There he is. The emergency boyfriend." A few guests laughed with him. Natalie's smile flickered. Then she walked toward me as if I were the person creating an awkward scene. "Joey, I was going to tell you after tonight." I looked at the ring on her hand. It was the same design she once sent me at 3 in the morning with the message, "If you ever propose, get me something like this." Evan had bought it. I had paid for the rooftop where he gave it to her. Natalie lowered her voice. "Please do not make this difficult. Evan and I found our way back to each other, but that does not change what you are to me." "And what am I?" She reached for my arm. "You are my person, my safest person. You always will be." Behind her, Evan smiled. He knew exactly what she meant. He got the woman. I got the emergencies. Then Natalie glanced at the folder in my hand. "Did you bring the transfer? The caterer is still waiting, and Evan's investment will not clear until Monday. I promise I will pay you back." That was the moment something inside me finally broke. Not because she chose him, because even while wearing another man's ring, she still expected me to finance the celebration. I pulled my arm away. "No." Natalie blinked. In 7 years, I had never said that word to her. A blue screen appeared in front of my face. Breaking point confirmed 10x reciprocity system activated. One rule. Money spent on someone who genuinely values you returns tenfold. Money spent on someone using you returns nothing. Cashback funds cannot generate additional cashback. Then another window opened. Historical recipient. Natalie Reed. Total spent. 184,730 reciprocity return. 0 times. 7 years. $184,000. And not one real return. Natalie could not see the screen. She only saw me close the folder. "Joey, do not be childish. This is important to me." I looked at Evan. "Then the man she chose can pay for it." The rooftop went silent. Evan's smile disappeared. And for the first time, Natalie looked afraid that her backup plan might actually leave. That was the night Joey Manhwa stopped waiting to be chosen. It was also the night every dollar he gave to the right person began returning tenfold. Before the system, Joey Manhwa had not considered himself pathetic. He considered himself patient. That was how people trapped inside bad decisions usually described themselves. Joey met Natalie during their final year of college. She was beautiful, ambitious, and impossible to ignore. She could enter a room full of strangers and leave with 3 job offers, 5 phone numbers, and a plan for a business no one else had thought of yet. At that time, Natalie was dating Evan Cross. Evan came from money. His father owned a private investment firm. His mother sat on charity boards. He wore watches worth more than Joey's tuition and talked about companies as if they were toys he might buy when he became bored. Natalie loved him openly. Joey understood that. He never interfered. He was only her classmate at first, then her project partner, then the person she called whenever Evan forgot a presentation, missed an anniversary, or disappeared for days without explaining where he had gone. Joey helped because he liked her. Natalie accepted because she liked being helped. Then Evan left the country after graduation. He told Natalie that long distance would hold him back. He ended their relationship through a 6-line message and blocked her before she could reply. Natalie collapsed. She stopped eating. She stopped attending interviews. She spent nights sitting on the floor of Joey's apartment while he listened to her ask the same question in different ways. Why had Evan not chosen her? Joey never told her that he would have. Not then. He simply stayed. He brought food. He helped her apply for jobs. He fixed the broken laptop Evan had given her. When she could not afford rent, Joey covered it and told her she could repay him later. She never did. 3 months after Evan left, Natalie fell asleep on Joey's shoulder during a movie. When she woke, she did not move away. She held his hand and whispered, "I do not know what I would do without you." Joey thought that was the beginning. It was actually the arrangement. A week later, Joey asked if she wanted to go on a real date. Natalie looked at him with tears in her eyes. "I cannot lose you too." Joey did not understand. She explained that she was not ready for another relationship. She needed time, but she also could not imagine Joey dating someone else and disappearing from her life. "Just wait for me. When I am ready, you will be the first person I choose." Joey waited. 1 year became 2. Natalie behaved like his girlfriend whenever she needed the comfort of one. She called him every night. She kept clothes at his apartment. She held his arm at family events so relatives would stop asking why she was single. She became jealous when female coworkers messaged him. Once, Joey agreed to dinner with a woman from his office. 20 minutes before the reservation, Natalie called and said she had been locked out of her apartment. Joey canceled the date and drove across the city. When he arrived, Natalie was sitting inside her apartment, eating noodles. She had found the spare key beneath the flower pot. "I knew you would come," Joey laughed with her. The woman from his office never spoke to him again. That should have been the moment he understood. Instead, he treated Natalie's jealousy as proof that her feelings were growing. They were not. Natalie did not want Joey. She wanted access to Joey. By the 3rd year, she had an idea for a personalized beauty platform called Luma. Customers would upload photos, answer questions, and receive skincare recommendations built around their habits and budget. Natalie understood branding. Joey understood systems. He built the first version after work. He stayed awake until sunrise fixing bugs, while Natalie slept on his couch. When the app attracted its first 1,000 users, Natalie hugged him and said, "When this succeeds, everything changes for us." Joey heard a promise. Natalie meant a lifestyle. He paid for the company registration. He paid the first designers. He paid for packaging samples, warehouse deposits, software licenses, and influencer contracts. Whenever he hesitated, Natalie reminded him that they were building a future together, but her name was the only one on the company. Joey's name appeared nowhere. When he asked about equity, Natalie kissed his cheek and told him not to turn their relationship into a business transaction. They did not have a relationship, but somehow, Joey was still expected to protect it from paperwork. The only person at Luma who openly questioned the arrangement was Lena Park. Lena was a product designer Joey hired during the company's 2nd year. She was quiet in meetings until someone said something stupid. Then she became impossible to silence. On her first week, she asked why Joey worked every department while Natalie received every title. Joey told her he did not care about recognition. People usually say that right before someone else takes all of it. Joey thought she was cynical. Lena thought he was in love. Both were correct. When Luma struggled, Lena stayed late beside him. She never asked Joey to solve her work. She learned enough code to help him. When Joey forgot meals, she left food beside his keyboard without making it emotional. When Natalie publicly credited Evan's old business advice for a feature Joey had designed, Lena nearly corrected her in front of investors. Joey stopped her. He said Natalie was under pressure. Lena looked at him for a long moment. "She is not under pressure, Joey. She is standing on you." He ignored that too. Then Evan Cross returned to the city. He was richer than before. His father's firm had given him control of a new venture fund. He arrived with magazine profiles, expensive cars, and the confidence of a man who had never suffered a consequence long enough to remember it. The first company he visited was Luma. Natalie told Joey it was only business. Then she changed her clothes 3 times before Evan arrived. Evan praised the company, offered investment, and acted surprised when he learned Joey had built most of the platform. "So you are the engine." Joey nodded. Evan placed one hand on his shoulder. "Every beautiful company needs someone in the basement keeping the lights on." Natalie laughed. Joey did too. That was the problem. Over the next 6 months, Evan became part of everything. He attended private dinners with Natalie. He joined investor calls Joey had prepared. He began presenting Joey's forecasts as his own. Whenever Joey questioned it, Natalie accused him of jealousy. "Evan is helping us scale. Why can you not be happy for me?" Joey wanted to say that he had spent years making her happy. Instead, he apologized. Then Natalie promised him one final thing. After the Luma launch, she said they would stop avoiding the question between them. Just get me through this. Then we can finally talk about us. Joey believed her, so he emptied his remaining savings into the launch. He rented the rooftop. He hired the caterer, he arranged the press wall, he built a presentation that would introduce Natalie's company to the city. He did not know the final slide had been replaced. He did not know the white dress was not for the investors, and he did not know the future Natalie had promised him already had Evan's name on it. Back on the rooftop, Natalie stared at Joey as if he had spoken in a language she had never heard. No? Joey closed the folder beneath his arm. No transfer, no emergency payment, no Monday promise. Evan walked toward them. His smile had returned, but it no longer reached his eyes. Come on, Joey, do not ruin her night because she made a romantic decision you do not like. Joey looked at him. Then make the payment yourself. Evan's jaw tightened. The $80,000 was not impossible for him. That was not the issue. Evan had invested in Luma under the assumption that Joey would continue absorbing every ugly cost Natalie did not want to see. He had expected to receive the company, the woman, and the invisible worker beneath both. Natalie stepped between them. Joey, this is not about money. Then stop asking for mine. A few people nearby heard him. Phones began turning toward the argument. Natalie noticed immediately. Her expression softened for the audience. You are emotional. I understand. Go home and sleep. We will talk tomorrow. She spoke as if she were dismissing an employee. Then she added the sentence that had controlled Joey for years. You know I need you. The old Joey would have folded. He would have heard need and translated it into love. The system opened another window. Request detected recipient. Natalie Reed projected return. 0 times. Joey finally saw the sentence for what it was. Natalie needed him because need was cheaper than respect. He turned toward the elevator. Evan called after him, you're really going to walk out after everything she did for you. Joey stopped. The room waited for him to defend himself. Instead, Joey looked back and said, name one thing. Evan opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Natalie did not answer either. Joey left. The elevator doors closed on the applause, the roses, and the woman he had spent 7 years waiting for. He expected the moment to feel powerful. It did not. It felt empty. Joey walked through the hotel lobby with his chest tight and his phone vibrating nonstop. Natalie called 6 times. Then she sent messages. Do not embarrass me. People are asking questions. At least send the transfer. We can discuss the rest later. The messages proved something Joey had refused to understand. Natalie was not worried about losing him. She was worried about losing what he did. Outside the hotel, rain had started falling. Joey stood beneath the awning and tried to decide where to go. His apartment was filled with Luma prototypes, Natalie's clothes, and 7 years of evidence that he had built a life around someone who never entered it. Then he heard his name. Lena Park hurried through the lobby doors with her laptop bag pressed over her head. Her black dress was soaked at the shoulders. She looked angry enough to fight the weather. You left. Joey gave a tired laugh. Excellent observation. Lena looked past him toward the rooftop elevators. Natalie fired me. That pulled Joey out of his own pain. What? Lena held up her phone. During the engagement announcement, she had demanded that the launch presentation credit Joey as Luma's original architect. Natalie told her it was not the right moment. Lena refused to remove Joey's name from the product history. Evan terminated her access before the party ended. Lena's final month's wages had also been withheld for a supposed breach of professionalism. Joey felt anger rise. She cannot do that. She just did. Lena shrugged, but her voice shook slightly. She had rent due in 4 days. Joey knew because she had once mentioned moving her mother into a better apartment after the landlord raised the price. He opened the folder beneath his arm. The $80,000 transfer had not been sent. He pulled out his checkbook app, calculated Lena's unpaid wages and unused leave, then transferred $2,400 to her account. Lena's phone chimed. She stared at the amount. Joey, no, you do not owe me this. Luma does. I helped create Luma. Consider it the company paying one honest bill before it loses the habit. Lena shook her head. You just walked away from everything. Keep your money. I'm not giving it because you asked. I did not ask at all. Exactly. The system flashed. Recipient, Lena Park, genuine appreciation, confirmed spend, $2,410 and cashback, $24,000. Joey's bank balance increased instantly. He stared at the number. $24,000. No hidden contract. No waiting period. No promise of repayment. The system had done exactly what it claimed. Lena could not see it. She was still trying to send the original money back. Joey stopped her. Keep it. Why? Joey looked through the hotel glass at the rooftop lights above them. Because you were the only person in that company who ever said my name when I was not in the room. Lena went quiet. Then she reached into her bag and handed him a small black drive. This is every version of the Luma interface I designed. The originals include your name in the creator metadata. Evan told me to delete them. I made a copy instead. She had protected his work before she knew he would help her. That mattered more than the system window. Joey closed his fingers around the drive. For 7 years, he had believed devotion meant giving, without asking what came back. Now, standing in the rain beside a woman who had preserved one piece of his name, Joey felt the difference between being needed and being valued. Natalie's next call appeared on his screen. He declined it. The system did not reward him. That was important. Ignoring Natalie was not automatically growth. It was only silence. What Joey did with the space she left behind would determine whether his life actually changed. Where are you going now? Joey looked at the $80,000 transfer still waiting in the folder. Then he looked at the drive in his hand. Somewhere no one calls me their person while putting another man's name on my work. The following morning, Natalie arrived at Joey's apartment before sunrise. She still wore the white engagement dress beneath Evan's coat. The sight would have destroyed the old Joey. The new Joey mostly wondered why she had brought rainwater onto his floor. Natalie walked past him without waiting for permission. Why did you block the transfer? No greeting. No apology. No explanation for the engagement. The money came first. Joey leaned against the door because it was mine. Natalie turned. It was for Luma. Luma is yours. You built it with me? No, I built it for you. There is a difference. Natalie's face tightened. She had spent the entire night managing questions from investors, vendors, and guests after Joey left. Evan covered the immediate catering balance, but he refused to pay the warehouse deposit until his attorneys reviewed the company. The launch had looked glamorous online. Behind the photographs, Luma was 48 hours from losing its inventory. Natalie expected Joey to fix that. She placed her phone on the counter and showed him a spreadsheet. Send the transfer now, and I will repay you when Evan's fund releases the investment. The system appeared. Proposed spend, 80,000 recipient, Natalie Reed projected return, 0 times. Why is Evan not paying? His compliance team needs time. My bank did not need time when you asked me last week. Natalie crossed her arms. This is exactly what I was afraid of. You are punishing me because I chose someone else. Joey almost apologized. The reflex came so quickly that his mouth opened before his mind caught it. Then he remembered the historical total on the system screen. $184,000. 0 return. I'm not punishing you. I'm no longer financing you. Natalie stared at him. For the first time, she seemed to understand that those were different things. Then she changed tactics. Her eyes filled with tears. You told me you believed in me. I did. You said we were building a future. You announced that future last night. I was not in it. Natalie's tears stopped as quickly as they had started. So that is what this is about. You thought helping me bought you a relationship. The accusation hit exactly where she intended. Joey had asked himself the same question all night. Had he been kind, or had he been quietly purchasing hope? The honest answer was both, but Natalie was using his shame to erase her manipulation. Joey nodded slowly. I should never have given things while waiting for you to become someone you were not. That was my mistake. I'm correcting it now. Natalie had prepared arguments for jealousy, anger, and begging. She had no response to accountability. Joey walked to the hall closet and removed 2 boxes. Inside were Natalie's clothes, cosmetics, spare keys, chargers, and the framed photographs she kept on his bedside table whenever she stayed over. He placed them beside the door. Natalie's face changed. You packed my things? They were taking up space. Joey, do not do this. We can still be friends. Friends do not reserve each other, so no one else can enter. I never stopped you from dating. Joey looked at her. Natalie looked away first. She remembered the locked apartment call, the fake food poisoning, the night she appeared at Joey's office crying because he had posted a photograph with another woman. Every time Joey took one step away, Natalie created an emergency that pulled him back. She did not deny it. Instead, she whispered, "I was scared of losing you, Joey. Almost mistook that for love. Did you ever plan to choose me?" Natalie said nothing. That silence answered 7 years. Joey opened the door. Natalie picked up one box, then stopped. "You will call me by tomorrow." It was not a question. No, she carried the boxes into the hall. Before the elevator closed, she looked at him with irritation rather than grief. Natalie still believed Joey's absence was temporary. Back inside, Joey deleted the emergency card he had added to her digital wallet. He removed himself from her lease guarantee. He canceled the monthly payment for her mother's car. He ended the premium insurance plan covering Natalie's devices. He changed the passwords on every personal account she could access. None of those actions generated system rewards. He was not spending money on someone who valued him. He was simply stopping the leak. By noon, Natalie sent 32 messages. The first 10 were angry. The next 10 were practical. The final 12 were sentimental. "Remember when you said you would always be there? I do not recognize you right now. Evan thinks this is childish, but I am defending you. Call me, please." Joey read them all. Then he archived the conversation instead of blocking it. He wanted proof for himself that he could see her need and not confuse it with responsibility. That afternoon, Lena arrived carrying 2 coffees and a notebook. She had slept 3 hours. "I reviewed the files. Luma owns the final platform because you assigned the code during incorporation. We cannot take it." Joey nodded. He had signed away the work willingly. The system could not reverse contracts or repair every bad choice. That made the story more painful but also more honest. Lena placed the black drive on the table. But the original recommendation engine was built before Luma existed. You never assigned the concept. We could build something new around it. We? Lena opened her notebook. On the first page was a rough sketch of a customer loyalty platform. Small businesses lost money chasing new buyers while ignoring the people who returned. Customers received points that were difficult to understand and nearly impossible to use. Lena proposed a simple product. A real cashback network for local businesses. The more genuinely loyal the customer, the better the reward. Joey looked at the system window only he could see. Then he looked at Lena's design. What would you call it? Lena had already written the answer at the top of the page, Tenfold. Joey laughed for the first time since the rooftop. That is either perfect or extremely suspicious. I thought of it before you started acting mysterious about bank transfers. Lena explained that she had enough savings to survive for 2 months. She could design the product, but they needed developers, legal support, and a small pilot budget. Joey had $24,000 from the first cashback return, plus the $80,000 he had refused to give Natalie. For the first time, his savings represented a future that did not depend on waiting for someone. He asked Lena what ownership she wanted. Half. The old Joey might have been offended. Then Lena slid the notebook across the table. Every page showed work she had already done. Research. Mock-ups, merchant interviews, revenue assumptions. She was not asking Joey to finance her dream. She was inviting him into work already underway. Joey held out his hand. Half. Lena shook it. No system window appeared. Partnership was not a purchase. Trust could not be measured through cashback before it had time to exist. Joey liked that. Joey and Lena built the first version of Tenfold from his apartment. The dining table became a design desk. The couch held printed contracts. The TV displayed code instead of movies. For the first week, progress felt almost peaceful. Then reality arrived. They needed an engineer. Joey contacted Marcus Hale, a former Luma developer Natalie had dismissed months earlier after he asked for parental leave. Marcus was talented, loyal, and exhausted. His wife had recently undergone surgery. Medical bills had swallowed their savings, and Marcus was considering an offer from a company known for working developers until they broke. Joey invited him to dinner. He explained Tenfold. Honestly, no inflated valuation, no promise of instant wealth, just equal work, a real salary, and a small equity stake. Marcus listened, then asked one question. If Luma offers you everything back tomorrow, do you leave us? The question landed harder than any investor challenge. No. Marcus studied his face. Then he believed him. Joey offered a $15,000 signing advance so Marcus could handle the hospital balance without panic. Marcus refused twice. Joey insisted it was part of the contract, not charity. When the transfer cleared, the system appeared. Recipient: Marcus Hale, genuine appreciation confirmed spend. $15,000 X cashback, $150,000. Joey's available capital jumped. The money was powerful. But the more important moment happened the following morning. Marcus arrived early with a working prototype he had built overnight. He had not waited for the advance to prove itself. He had already chosen the team. Tenfold rented a narrow office above a laundromat. The walls smelled faintly of soap. The elevator worked only when someone kicked the lower panel. Lena called it character. Marcus called it a lawsuit. Joey called it theirs. They hired 3 more people. A customer support manager who had been laid off after reporting fraud. A sales representative who had spent years bringing clients to a boss who claimed every commission. A young accountant who returned a wallet containing more money than her monthly salary. Joey did not use the system to select them. He interviewed them. He checked references. He watched how they treated receptionists, waiters, and people who could offer them nothing. Only after they joined did he take the financial risk of giving each a salary advance. 2 triggered tenfold cashback. 1 did not. The accountant received her advance, thanked Joey politely, and no system window appeared. Joey felt immediate suspicion. Then he stopped himself. 0 cashback did not automatically mean betrayal. The system measured genuine value toward Joey personally. The accountant barely knew him. She could still be honest, skilled, and useful without feeling loyal to a man she had met 3 days earlier. That realization prevented Joey from turning the system into another unhealthy obsession. Not everyone needed to love him. They only needed to honor the agreement. Tenfold's first pilot involved 12 small businesses on 1 street. A bakery, a barber, a laundromat, 2 restaurants, a bookstore, a family pharmacy. The system tracked repeat purchases and allowed merchants to return a clear percentage without complicated points. Customers understood it immediately. Spend money. Receive real value. Return because the business treated you well. The idea spread faster than expected. Within 3 weeks, hundreds of customers were using the app. Within 6 weeks, a local business newsletter called Tenfold the simplest loyalty platform in the city. Joey's name appeared beneath the article. Not Natalie's. Not Evan's. His. He stared at the page longer than he wanted to admit. Lena found him at his desk. You know the article is about the company, not your face. I know you have been reading the same paragraph for 10 minutes. Joey smiled. I'm adjusting to evidence that I exist. Lena sat on the edge of the desk. Get used to it. We have an investor meeting tomorrow. The investor was not Evan. That fact alone made the room feel cleaner. But while Joey's new company began growing, Luma began discovering what his absence cost. The warehouse shipment arrived with the wrong customs documents because Joey had always reviewed them. The recommendation engine began producing inaccurate results because Joey had maintained the data model personally. 3 vendors demanded payment Natalie assumed had already been scheduled. The customer service team had no crisis protocol because Joey had kept the real one in his head. Evan responded by blaming employees. Natalie responded by calling Joey. At first, she left practical messages. Where is the vendor checklist? What password did you use for the shipping dashboard? The model is rejecting customer photos. Call me then. The calls became emotional. I cannot believe you would let the company fail after everything we built. You know these employees depend on us. I thought you loved me. Joey answered none of them. Then Natalie visited the Tenfold office. She wore sunglasses despite the cloudy day and entered as if the laundromat elevator had personally insulted her. The support team recognized her immediately. Everyone knew the engagement video. It had spread online after guests posted clips of Joey leaving. Most comments called him bitter. A few called him pathetic. Several asked why a man who was never Natalie's boyfriend had expected anything. Natalie had liked one of those comments by accident. Joey saw her through the glass meeting room and felt the old pull in his chest. Natalie had always looked most beautiful when she needed something. He invited her inside. She looked around the office. This is what you left us for. Joey sat across from her. I left because you got engaged to someone else. This came after. Natalie removed her glasses. She looked tired. For one dangerous second, Joey wanted to ask whether she had eaten. Then, Natalie placed a laptop on the table. The Luma recommendation system is failing. Fix it. Not help me, not please, fix it. The system appeared. Proposed service value, 60,000 recipient. Natalie Reed projected return, 0 times. Joey closed the laptop. Hire an engineer. You are the engineer. Not anymore. Natalie's eyes sharpened. You built that system for me. Yes, that was my mistake. Stop calling everything you did for me a mistake. Joey looked at her calmly, then stopped treating it like an obligation. Natalie stood. Evan says this company is your way of getting revenge. Lena, standing outside the glass wall, heard every word. If my life improves when I stop helping you, that is not revenge. It is information. Natalie's face changed. She had expected anger. Indifference frightened her more. Before leaving, she said, "You will come back when this little project fails." Joey looked through the glass at Lena, Marcus, and the team working beyond them. That is the first future you ever imagined for me without you in it. Natalie left. 10 minutes later, Tenfold received an email from a regional chain interested in a trial across 40 stores. The company had not failed. It had only just become visible. Tenfold's first regional success attracted attention from people who had ignored Joey when he worked inside Luma. One of those people was Evan. He invited Joey and Lena to a private investor dinner at a hotel overlooking the river. The invitation described the meeting as a potential partnership between Luma and Tenfold. Lena wanted to refuse immediately. Joey chose to attend, not because he wanted Natalie's approval. Because Evan controlled merchant relationships, Tenfold might eventually need, and walking into a negotiation was different from running back into a rescue. The distinction sounded clean in Joey's head. It became less clean when Natalie entered the private dining room wearing the dark blue dress Joey had bought for her birthday the year before. She had once sent him 12 photographs from the store and asked which one he liked. Joey paid for the winner. Natalie never wore it around him. Now she wore it beside Evan. The old Joey noticed immediately. The new Joey wished he had not. Evan greeted them warmly. He praised Tenfold's growth and acted as if he had not spent weeks telling investors that Joey was an emotional amateur. Then he placed an acquisition agreement on the table. $3 million. For a company operating from an office above a laundromat, the number was enormous. The offer would make every early employee financially secure. It would repay Joey's savings several times over. It would give Lena the design budget she had never had at Luma. Then Joey read the conditions. Tenfold's technology would become a Luma division. Evan would serve as executive chairman. Natalie would control product strategy. Joey would receive a 2-year consulting contract. Lena would report to Natalie's design team, and both founders would sign a permanent agreement preventing them from creating another loyalty platform. Evan smiled. This gives everyone what they want. You get recognition, Lena gets resources, and Luma gets the technology it needs. Joey looked at Natalie. What do you get? Natalie answered softly. A chance to repair what happened. Lena nearly laughed. Evan continued before she could speak. Joey, you are good at building. Natalie is good at leading. There is no shame in accepting that different people have different strengths. It was the basement sentence again. The engine beneath the beautiful company. Only now Evan was offering $3 million to put Joey back where he had escaped from. Natalie reached across the table. You do not have to struggle just to prove you can live without me. There it was, every independent decision Joey made still became a message about Natalie in her mind. Tenfold could not simply be his company. It had to be a tantrum she could purchase back into obedience. Joey did not reject the offer immediately. That surprised both women. He asked for 30 minutes to speak with his partner and team. Evan looked pleased. Natalie looked relieved. They believed the number had restored gravity. Joey and Lena stepped onto the hotel terrace. Lena folded her arms. If you want to sell, say it. Do not reject $3 million because you think I need a dramatic loyalty test. Joey studied her. You would accept? No, I would take my half, refuse the employment contract, and build something else, but it is your half too. I will not turn partnership into another person deciding what you're allowed to choose. That answer mattered. Lena wanted Tenfold. She still refused to trap Joey inside her preference. Joey called Marcus and explained the offer. Marcus asked whether Evan could fire the team after acquiring the technology. The contract allowed it. The accountant noticed the purchase would be paid mostly through restricted Luma shares rather than cash. If Luma's value continued falling, the $3 million headline could become less than $1 million. The support manager asked one question. Will the merchants still receive the rewards we promised? The agreement gave Luma authority to change the rates. Joey returned to the table. Evan poured champagne. Before hearing the answer, Joey closed the acquisition folder.
No, Natalie's expression tightened. Evan did not smile this time. You are rejecting $3 million because of pride.
I am rejecting a contract that buys the product, removes the promise, and rents me back as labor. Evan leaned forward. You think a neighborhood cashback app can compete with my network? You thought Luma could survive without the person in the basement. We are both learning things. Lena looked down to hide her smile. Natalie tried one final approach. Joey, I am asking you as someone who still cares about you. Take the safe future. The system appeared. Proposed beneficiary. Natalie Reed, Reciprocity Return. 0 times. Joey almost found the window funny now. Natalie still called returning to her safe because she had never counted what staying cost him. He stood. Your safe future required me to have no name, no ownership, and no other choice. I already lived there. Joey and Lena left the hotel. The rejection created immediate danger. Evan called the regional chain before they reached the street and warned that Tenfold lacked sufficient capital to support expansion. The chain demanded an additional performance bond within 72 hours. The amount was $80,000. Tenfold could pay it, but doing so would leave little room for payroll. Joey gathered the team and explained what refusing the buyout had triggered. No one applauded his bravery. They discussed risk. Marcus offered to delay part of his salary. Joey refused. Lena proposed reducing the pilot size. The sales team called merchants and asked whether they would sign longer contracts in exchange for locked reward rates. 31 businesses agreed. They did not do it for Joey personally. They did it because Tenfold had kept its promise. Joey used $40,000 of original funds to subsidize the first month of rewards for those merchants. The system appeared. Recipient group. Early Tenfold merchants, genuine appreciation confirmed spend. 40,000 10 of cashback, 400,000. Tenfold posted the performance bond and protected payroll. The regional chain approved the expanded trial. Evan had offered Joey $3 million to surrender the company. By trying to punish the refusal, he had pushed Joey toward the people who helped Tenfold become worth more. Natalie watched the trial announcement online. For the first time, she did not think Joey was bluffing. He had rejected the money, he had rejected her, and his life had continued moving. The regional trial changed Tenfold overnight. 40 stores meant real transaction volume, real customer data, real attention from investors who had ignored the company when it operated above a laundromat. It also meant Tenfold needed someone who understood public growth. That was when Caleb Voss appeared. Caleb had spent 6 years building online campaigns for technology companies. His resume included 3 viral launches, 2 national brands, and 1 startup that sold for more than $100 million. He wore simple clothes that had obviously cost too much and spoke with the relaxed confidence of a man who had practiced sincerity in front of mirrors. During the interview, Caleb did not talk about money first. He talked about Joey. He said he had followed the engagement controversy online and believed the public had misunderstood him. He praised Joey for leaving Luma. He called him the true visionary behind both companies. Then Caleb said the sentence Joey had wanted to hear for 7 years. People keep benefiting from your work while pretending you're lucky to be in the room. I can make sure they finally know your name. Lena did not like him. She asked how Caleb knew so much about Joey when his application had arrived only 2 days earlier. Caleb smiled. Research is the job. Marcus liked his experience but wanted a trial period. Joey wanted speed. The regional chain planned to announce its partner within 6 weeks. Evan's venture fund had already begun backing a competing loyalty app. If Tenfold moved slowly, Joey feared Luma's network would crush them before they left the neighborhood. Caleb requested a $25,000 signing bonus. Joey approved it. The system appeared after the transfer. Recipient, Caleb Voss, genuine appreciation, not detected, 10x cashback, 0. Joey's stomach tightened. Caleb shook his hand warmly. You will not regret this. Joey considered canceling the contract immediately. Then he stopped. The accountant's salary advance had also returned nothing, yet she had performed every task honestly. 0 cashback did not prove malice. It only meant Caleb did not genuinely value Joey. Most employees did not feel personal appreciation toward a new employer. That was normal. Lena watched Joey's expression. What is wrong? Nothing. It was the first time Joey hid a system result from her. That decision mattered more than the 0. Caleb worked brilliantly at first. He redesigned Tenfold's public image. He arranged interviews. He convinced a popular restaurant group to join the platform. He made Joey appear confident on camera without turning him into a motivational cliché. The company's user numbers tripled. Every success made Joey feel foolish for doubting him. Then Caleb proposed a national campaign called Stop Being Loyal to Businesses That Do Not Reward You. The slogan fit Tenfold perfectly. It also fit Joey's life so well that reporters began asking about Natalie in every interview. Joey refused to use the campaign to attack her. Caleb pushed harder. Your story is the brand. People love betrayal. Give them a villain. Joey said no. Caleb nodded easily. Your call 2 weeks later, confidential merchant pricing appeared on a competitor's website. The competing platform was funded by Evan Cross. It launched a nearly identical campaign 3 days before Tenfold's national announcement. Their slogan was, "Why settle for points when loyalty should pay 10 times more?" Lena stared at the advertisement in silence. Marcus checked the internal access logs. Only 4 people had opened the pricing folder. Joey, Lena, Marcus, and Caleb. Caleb denied everything. He said the concept was obvious and accused Marcus of using weak security. Then a larger problem arrived. A reporter received documents suggesting Joey had stolen Tenfold's core technology from Luma. The files included old code with Luma headers, design notes from Natalie's company, and a signed statement from Caleb claiming Joey had asked him to hide the connection. Tenfold's regional partners suspended the trial. The lead investor canceled the meeting. Social media reversed within hours. The man who had been praised for leaving an exploitative arrangement was now called a bitter, almost boyfriend, who had stolen from the woman who rejected him. Natalie posted one carefully written statement. "This is painful. Joey was once very important to me, and I hoped he would find his own path without damaging what we built together. I will let the legal process speak." Evan reposted it with a broken heart symbol. Caleb disappeared before morning. His company laptop had been wiped. His phone number was disconnected. The $25,000 bonus was gone. Lena found Joey alone in the meeting room, staring at the zero return in his private system history. She did not know what the screen said. She knew what his face meant. You suspected him. Joey did not lie again. I had a reason to doubt him. I ignored it. Why? Joey looked through the glass at the empty office. Half the team had not come in after the accusations. He said everything I wanted to hear. Lena sat across from him. Natalie used you by needing you. Caleb used you by praising you. Different method, same opening. The words hurt because they were accurate. Joey had stopped chasing one form of validation and immediately become vulnerable to another. The system gave him money when he spent on people who valued him. It did not give him wisdom. It did not prevent bad judgment. It did not make flattery honest. Are you leaving? Lena looked offended. I have half the company. Where would I go? The trial is suspended. We may get sued. The public thinks I stole from Luma. Did you? No. Then stop asking whether I believe a stranger's press release over the man who built beside me. Her answer did not trigger a system window. No money changed hands. No cashback arrived. But Joey felt something return anyway. Ground, Lena spread the old design drive across the table with Marcus's audit logs. The original Tenfold architecture had timestamps created after Joey left Luma. The recommendation concept had existed earlier, but the implementation was entirely new. Caleb had planted old Luma files inside a hidden project folder and then photographed them. They could prove it, but proof would take time. Tenfold had payroll due in 9 days. The suspended trial meant no merchant revenue. The legal response would cost at least $70,000. Joey still had cashback funds, but using them did not generate new returns. His remaining original capital was small. For the first time since the system awakened, money alone could not solve the problem. The team had to choose whether Tenfold was worth surviving. Joey called everyone into the office. He told them the truth about Caleb. He admitted he had ignored warning signs. He offered anyone who wanted to leave full severance before the legal bills consumed the company. 3 people accepted. Joey paid them without resentment. No cashback appeared. They did not owe him loyalty for being frightened. The accountant stayed. So did Marcus. The support manager stayed. 2 sales representatives stayed. Lena never considered leaving. We can rebuild the merchant database from verified contracts. The accountant said she could trace Caleb's signing payment to the shell company that received Evan's consulting fees. The support manager proposed calling every pilot merchant personally instead of hiding behind a statement. They worked for 40 hours, no dramatic music played in the office. No investor arrived with a rescue check. They simply kept choosing the work. One bakery owner restored Tenfold service before the lawsuit was resolved. Then the laundromat followed, then 6 restaurants. The merchant said Joey's team had answered every complaint personally. They trusted the people more than the scandal. A local reporter published the timestamp evidence. The story changed again. Not completely, but enough. Tenfold survived. Joey fired Caleb publicly and filed a civil claim. The regional chain resumed its investigation instead of ending the trial. The crisis had cost Tenfold money, time, and momentum. It also taught Joey the difference between someone saying he deserved recognition and someone remaining when recognition disappeared. That evening, Lena fell asleep at her desk. Joey placed his jacket over her shoulders. He did not spend money. He did not expect a return. He simply cared. The system remained silent. Joey was beginning to understand that not every good act needed to become a transaction. Luma's problems worsened after the Caleb scandal. Evan had expected Tenfold to collapse immediately. Instead, the public evidence turned questions toward his company. Why had a contractor linked to Evan received money days before Caleb joined Tenfold? Why did Luma possess confidential merchant pricing before the files were supposedly discovered? Why had Natalie described Joey as emotionally unstable while continuing to call him whenever her systems failed? Evan responded the way powerful men often responded when facts became uncomfortable. He created a larger distraction. Luma announced a celebrity partnership worth millions. The campaign produced beautiful photographs, expensive launch parties, and almost no sales. Evan used company cash to protect the public image while delaying vendor payments. Natalie knew the numbers were dangerous, but admitting it would mean admitting Joey had been right. So she kept going. Then Luma's primary manufacturer stopped production over unpaid invoices. 600 employees and contractors risked missing wages. At 11:30 on a Thursday night, Joey's phone rang. Natalie, he watched it vibrate. He had ignored dozens of calls since the engagement. This one arrived with a voice message. Natalie was crying, not the controlled tears she used during arguments. Real panic. Joey, please. The payroll account is frozen. Evan is in another city and will not answer. If we do not deposit $100,000 by morning, hundreds of people will not get paid. You know them. Some of them have families. I know I have no right to ask, but you are the only person who can fix this. The old sentence, the old role, the only person who can fix this. Joey told himself he was not helping Natalie. He was helping the employees. That was partly true. The system opened when he entered the transfer amount. Proposed spend 100,000 recipient, Luma operating account, primary beneficiary. Natalie Reed projected return, 0 times. The warning was clear. Joey stared at it. Then Natalie's voice message played again. You are the only person who can fix this. He sent the money. No cashback arrived. Joey expected that. What he did not expect came the next morning. Only $30,000 reached payroll. Evan had automatic authority over the operating account. The moment Joey's transfer cleared, $70,000 was redirected toward the celebrity campaign and a private consulting invoice. Luma employees still missed wages. Natalie claimed she had not known the account would sweep the money. Joey believed her. That made it worse, not better. She had asked him to solve a crisis inside a company she no longer controlled. And Joey had accepted responsibility before checking where the money would go. Tenfold's attorney retainer was due that afternoon. The $100,000 transfer left Joey unable to pay it without using company operating funds. Lena discovered the transaction during the morning finance review. She entered Joey's office and placed the statement on his desk. Tell me this is not what it looks like. Joey did not answer quickly enough. Lena's face went still. You gave Luma $100,000 while they are suing us. Employees were going to miss payroll. Then pay the employees, buy their wage claims, create a relief fund, do anything except hand money to the people who created the crisis. I did not have time. You had enough time to hide it from me. That stopped him. Lena had half the company. The transfer had been personal money, but its loss now threatened their shared legal defense. Joey had not only relapsed into saving Natalie, he had once again allowed her emergency to become more important than the people already standing beside him. Did the system reward you? Joey looked up sharply. He had never explained the system. Lena folded her arms. I do not know what you're seeing, but money keeps appearing after you help certain people. You look at empty air before every transfer, and last night you ignored whatever warning was in front of you. Joey could have denied it. He was tired of building relationships around hidden truths. So he told her, not everything at first, just the rule. Spend on someone who genuinely valued him, receive 10 times the amount. Spend on someone using him, receive nothing. Lena listened without interrupting. What did it say about Luma? 0. And you sent the money anyway. People needed help. No, Natalie needed Joey to become her backup again, and Joey needed Natalie to say no one else could replace him. The employees were the story you told yourself. Joey stood. That is not fair. Neither is risking our company, because hearing her say, I need you still feels better than hearing me say, I trust you. The room went silent. Lena's eyes were wet, but she did not look away. This was not jealousy. She was not asking Joey to stop caring about Natalie so he could care about her instead. She was asking whether his promises to the present meant anything when the past called. I'm sorry, Lena shook her head. Do not apologize fast. Fix it slowly. Then she left. For the first time, Joey understood why changing a habit was harder than leaving a person. He had walked away from Natalie on the rooftop, but a part of him still believed his highest value came from being the person she could not survive without. That part had just cost $100,000 and Lena's trust. The system displayed no penalty. It did not need one. The 0 was enough. Joey could not recover the money Evan redirected. He could not ask the system to erase the mistake. Cashback rewards were not time machines. So Joey solved the problem without pretending the loss had never happened. First, he met Tenfold's attorney and disclosed the transfer. The attorney warned that Luma might use it to argue Joey still considered himself part of the company. Joey signed a formal statement identifying the payment as emergency wage support, not investment or ownership. Then he contacted the unpaid Luma employees directly. Natalie accused him of poaching. Joey ignored the accusation. He offered to purchase their outstanding wage claims at full value. Tenfold would pay them immediately, then pursue repayment from Luma through the legal process. This time, the money went to the people Joey claimed he wanted to help. He spent $40,000 from his remaining original savings. The system responded. Recipient Group 27, unpaid workers, genuine appreciation, confirmed spend. 40,000 DenoX cashback, 400,000. The return stabilized Tenfold's legal defense, but Joey did not treat it as proof that he had been right all along. The contrast proved the opposite. When he gave money through Natalie, 0 returned because the true purpose was keeping his place in her life. When he gave directly to workers, the help reached the people who valued it. Same crisis, different motive, different result. Joey offered several former Luma employees jobs, but only where Tenfold actually had roles. He did not create positions to make himself look generous. 5 joined, others accepted the wage payment and moved elsewhere. That was fine. Reciprocity did not require ownership. Next, Joey met with Lena, not at the office. He asked her to choose the location. She selected a crowded diner where leaving would be easy if the conversation became manipulative. Joey placed the company statements on the table. He showed her every account, every cashback deposit, every personal transfer, and the legal risk created by his decision. Then he gave her co-approval authority over any personal payment that could affect Tenfold's operating stability. Lena read the agreement. You are giving me veto power? I'm honoring the half you already own. What if I abuse it? Then we have a different problem. But hiding decisions, because I'm afraid you will stop me, is not partnership. Lena looked at him for a long moment. I'm still angry. You should be. I do not trust that you will ignore her next call. Neither do I, so I'm not promising that. That answer surprised her. Joey continued. I am promising that if I answer, I will not make her emergency your consequence. Lena signed. Again, no system window appeared. Trust was rebuilding without money. That mattered. Over the following weeks, Joey changed the way he responded to Natalie. He did not block her completely. There were legal and business matters requiring communication. But every conversation happened through written channels or with another person present. When Natalie asked for technical help, Joey sent a professional rate sheet. When she called about a personal crisis, Joey replied with the number of a qualified service. When she said she missed him, Joey did not argue or comfort her. He asked what action she wanted from him. Most of the time, Natalie stopped replying. She did not miss Joey in the abstract. She missed immediate access. Without that access, her relationship with Evan changed quickly. Evan had enjoyed being the exciting man while Joey handled reality. Now reality belonged to Evan. Natalie asked him to repair vendor relationships. He hired consultants and blamed her when they failed. She asked him to help her mother with the car payments Joey had stopped covering. Evan said family expenses were not part of the investment agreement. She asked him to stay during a customer lawsuit. Evan flew to a conference and turned off his phone. The first time Natalie called Joey afterward, she did not ask for money. "You would never have left me alone like this." That was the problem. Then he ended the call. Natalie stared at the silent phone and finally began feeling the difference between the man she wanted and the man she had used. Natalie had spent 7 years believing Evan was the difficult love and Joey was the easy one. Evan challenged her. Joey supported her. Evan disappeared and returned with stories. Joey remained available with solutions. She thought choosing Evan meant choosing excitement over safety. She had never considered that safety might leave. As Luma weakened, Evan's behavior became less romantic and more contractual. He postponed their wedding date because the company's valuation had fallen. He stopped appearing in photographs unless a press team was present. He moved investment funds into secured debt, which meant his firm would be paid before employees, suppliers, or Natalie if Luma collapsed. When Natalie confronted him, Evan told her he was protecting their future. It sounded familiar. That was what she had told Joey whenever she asked him to sacrifice something. One evening, Natalie arrived at Evan's office without warning. His assistant tried to stop her. Natalie entered anyway and heard Evan speaking to his father on the phone. The company was attractive because Joey came attached. He built the product, handled the operations, and kept Natalie stable. I did not realize pulling her away would make him leave the entire machine. His father asked whether Evan still intended to marry her. Evan laughed. If Luma recovers, I'm not marrying a crisis. Natalie stood outside the half-open door with one hand over her mouth. For years, she had assumed Evan saw her as the prize and Joey as the backup. Now she understood that Evan had considered Joey part of the package. He won in Natalie's face, Joey's work, and the satisfaction of taking both. Without Joey, Natalie had become less valuable to him. She left before Evan saw her. The first person she called was Joey. He answered because the civil case required them to keep a communication line open. Natalie did not mention what she had heard. "Did you ever think I was talented without you?" Joey was silent for a moment. Then he answered honestly, "Yes." Natalie began crying. "Then why is everything falling apart? Because talent is not the same as infrastructure. You had both. You only respected one. Can we meet? Not about money, not about Luma, just us." Joey looked through the Tenfold office window. Lena was presenting a redesign to merchants. Marcus was beside her, arguing over a payment flow. The team had become busy enough that no one noticed Joey's phone call. That was new. His whole world no longer paused when Natalie spoke. "There was never an us." Natalie inhaled sharply. "That is cruel. No, it is the sentence you used whenever I asked for commitment. I am only saying it without the benefits attached." He ended the call. Natalie sat alone in her car and finally understood why Joey's absence felt so large. He had not simply disappeared from her schedule. He had been woven through every part of her life. But regret did not repair Luma, and understanding Joey's value did not automatically make her worthy of his return. Tenfold cleared the regional investigation 2 months later. The independent audit proved that Caleb had planted the Luma files after joining the company. Bank records linked his shell corporation to a consulting company controlled by Evan's venture. Caleb disappeared overseas before he could be questioned. Evan denied knowing him. The denial lasted until the accountant found a calendar invitation, placing them in the same private club 3 days before Caleb's interview. The regional chain restored Tenfold's contract. Then it expanded the trial from 40 stores to 300. Joey's company moved out of the office above the laundromat. Lena insisted they keep the broken elevator panel and mounted it in the new lobby. A small plaque beneath it read, "Kick here when growth stalls." Within 6 months, Tenfold served thousands of merchants. The company did not become successful because the system gave Joey magical business knowledge. The system gave him capital. The people around him built the company. Marcus created a payment system fast enough to handle national traffic. The accountant designed fraud controls that protected small merchants. The support manager turned customer complaints into product improvements. Lena built an interface simple enough for anyone to understand in seconds. Joey connected the pieces and made decisions without hiding behind someone else's dream. Investors began calling him. Reporters who once described him as Natalie's bitter friend now called him the founder of one of the fastest growing financial technology companies in the city. He disliked both versions. One reduced him to Natalie. The other pretended he had built Tenfold alone. During the national launch interview, Joey named every early employee before discussing himself. The clip went viral, not because humility was rare, because the team behind him reacted like people who had never expected to hear their names on live TV. That night, Tenfold held a small celebration on the roof of its new office. No white roses, no surprise engagement. Just folding tables, food from pilot merchants, and people who had earned the right to relax together. Lena stood beside Joey near the edge of the roof. She handed him a paper cup. "You paid for my coffee for months. I am attempting to reduce the balance." Joey looked at the cup. "At this rate, you will be finished in approximately 9 years. Good, stable customer retention." They smiled. The space between them felt different now. Not uncertain, careful. Joey had noticed Lena months earlier, noticed the way she tied her hair before difficult meetings, the way she read every contract twice, the way she refused praise for work she had not done and rejected blame that did not belong to her. But Joey had not asked her for more. He did not want Lena to become proof that Natalie had lost. Lena seemed to understand. "I'm not waiting 7 years for you to decide whether you like me." Joey nearly dropped the cup. Lena continued before he could speak. "I also will not date you while half your emotional life is still an argument with Natalie. So take your time. Just do not hide behind caution forever and call it maturity." Then she walked back toward the team. Joey watched her go. The system displayed nothing, no return rate, no projected value. For once, Joey was grateful. He would have to decide without a number. Evan's venture fund could survive Luma's decline. His reputation could not survive Tenfold's rise. Every article about Joey included the same comparison. The hidden builder left. The celebrated company collapsed. The backup became the founder. The first love became an investigation target. Evan decided to destroy Tenfold before the national launch completed. His plan had 3 parts. First, he purchased debt from several of Tenfold's merchant partners through another company. Second, he filed an emergency claim, accusing Tenfold of mishandling customer funds. Third, he used Caleb's remaining access to schedule false refunds worth millions of dollars on launch morning. If Tenfold blocked the refunds, merchants would accuse the company of withholding money. If it processed them, Tenfold's settlement account would empty before investigators understood the attack. The assault began at 7 in the morning. Marcus saw the abnormal requests first. Within minutes, 3,000 merchants had received notices saying their accounts were frozen. Social media filled with panic. News vans arrived outside Tenfold headquarters. The emergency claim prevented Tenfold from using investor funds until a judge reviewed the case. The company had enough operating cash to refund some merchants. Not all. Joey called the team into the main room. No one waited for a speech. Marcus isolated the false refund source. The accountant traced the purchased debt. The support team opened direct lines with every affected merchant. Lena redesigned the merchant dashboard in 2 hours so businesses could see exactly what had happened. Joey contacted the national chain and offered complete access to Tenfold's records. Then, the first real merchants began losing money because of delayed settlements. A family pharmacy could not order medicine. A bakery could not pay workers. Several restaurants faced weekend closure. Joey had personal funds available. Cashback money could not produce more cashback, but his salary, dividends, and original investment earnings had grown with the company. He could cover the immediate merchant losses himself. The amount was $500,000. Lena looked at him. This was the kind of moment when old Joey would decide alone, call it sacrifice, and expect everyone else to live with the result. Joey placed the transfer plan before the entire leadership team. "This uses my personal earned funds. It does not touch company reserves. The payments go directly to affected merchants. I want objections before approval, not after." The accountant verified the source. Marcus confirmed that the technical fix would prevent a second attack. "Are you doing this because you need them to love you?" "No, I'm doing it because we promised their money would be safe and they stayed when walking away would have been easier." Lena nodded, "Then do it." Joey authorized the payments. The system opened. Recipient group verified Tenfold merchants. Genuine appreciation confirmed spend. $500,010 X cashback. $5 million. The return entered Joey's personal account. He immediately disclosed it to the accountant and used a portion as a documented emergency loan to Tenfold after legal approval. The company stayed liquid. Affected merchants received their money before noon. The story Evan expected never formed. Instead of angry business owners accusing Joey, camera crews found merchants describing how Tenfold had paid them before the investigation finished. The bakery owner from the original pilot stood outside his shop and told reporters, "They rewarded loyalty before they were famous. Today they proved it was not marketing." Public support surged. Then the accountant found the connection that ended Evan's plan. The debt purchasing company shared an authorization key with Evan's venture fund. Marcus recovered Caleb's hidden access logs. And Natalie provided the final piece. She arrived at Tenfold headquarters carrying Evan's private laptop. Security stopped her in the lobby. Joey met her with Lena and the company attorney present. Natalie placed the laptop on the table. He planned all of it. Caleb, the lawsuit, the fake refunds. There are messages and contracts here. Joey did not touch the computer. "How did you get it?" "He left it at my apartment." "Why help us now?" Natalie looked at Joey. "Because he was going to blame me." There it was. Not pure courage, not sudden redemption. Evan had prepared documents claiming Natalie authorized the attacks without his knowledge. If the plan failed, she would become the scapegoat. He had kept her close as protection against consequences. Exactly as she had kept Joey close as protection against life. Natalie continued. "The evidence is real. Use it." The attorney created a forensic copy without allowing anyone to alter the device. The messages proved Evan had hired Caleb and ordered the financial attack. They also proved Natalie knew about the earlier campaign against Joey's reputation, though not the false refunds. Joey looked at her. "You knew Caleb was working for him." Natalie lowered her eyes. "I knew Evan wanted someone inside Tenfold. I did not know he would plant files." "You knew enough. I thought he was protecting Luma." Joey almost laughed. Everyone in this story had used the word protect while transferring harm to someone else. The evidence went to regulators and police. Evan was detained before his plane left the runway. Caleb was located days later through the shell company transfer. The emergency claim against Tenfold collapsed. Luma's board removed Evan's fund from control and placed Natalie on leave pending an investigation. Tenfold completed its national launch. By the end of the week, the platform had more users than anyone projected for the first quarter. Joey did not celebrate Evan's arrest. He felt relief. Revenge was loud in imagination. In reality, the best sound was a problem finally becoming someone else's responsibility. Natalie asked Joey to meet 1 month after the investigation. This time, she did not call with an emergency. She sent one message: "I have something to say. You can say no." Joey agreed to a public cafe in the afternoon. Lena knew where he was going. She did not ask to come. That trust made Joey more careful than supervision would have. Natalie arrived without designer clothes or pressed makeup. Luma had not collapsed completely, but she no longer controlled it. Her engagement to Evan had ended through attorney statements rather than conversation. She sat across from Joey and placed her phone face down. For the first time in years, she did not begin with what she needed. "I used you." Joey waited. Natalie continued. "I told myself I was honest because I never called you my boyfriend. But I knew you loved me. I knew every time I said maybe you would stay. I got angry when you dated because I wanted the security of being chosen even while I refused to choose you." Joey felt the old pain move through him. Not sharp anymore, heavy. Natalie looked directly at him. "I loved Evan. I also loved what you gave me. I confused needing both with deserving both." The system opened. Recipient: Natalie Reed, genuine appreciation, confirmed current 10x eligibility. Active. Joey stared at the words. For 7 years, the return had been 0. Now, after losing access to him, Natalie finally valued the person rather than the service. The system did not say she was lying. It did not say she was still using him. Her regret was real. That made the decision harder, not easier. "I know I do not deserve another chance, but if there is any part of you that still wonders what would have happened if I had chosen you, I'm choosing you now. Not because Evan left. Not because Luma failed. Because I finally understand who you were." 7 years earlier, Those words would have become Joey's entire world. Even 6 months earlier, hearing them might have pulled him back. Now he understood something the system could not place on a screen. Being genuinely valued did not erase being repeatedly harmed. A positive return did not make every investment wise. I believe you. Natalie's eyes widened with hope. Then Joey continued. I believe that you value me now, but you learned my value only after you could no longer use it. Maybe that change is real. I hope it is. It still does not make us right for each other. Natalie's eyes filled with tears. You waited 7 years. Yes, that is why I will not spend another one proving the wait meant something. She reached for his hand, then stopped herself before touching him. That small restraint showed more growth than any speech. Joey stood. Natalie asked one final question. Was I ever close to choosing you? Joey looked down at her. You chose me every time something went wrong. You chose him every time something went right. Natalie closed her eyes. That was the truth she would have to live with. Joey left the cafe. The system kept Natalie's eligibility active. He did not spend anything. The system gave him power over money. It did not get a vote over his heart. Lena was still at the office when Joey returned. She sat inside the glass meeting room, reviewing a merchant contract. Joey knocked. She looked up. How did it go? She apologized. Did you believe her? Yes. Lena's expression remained calm, but her fingers tightened slightly around the pen. Joey sat across from her. I also said no. Lena released the pen. Because she does not value you, she does now. That answer surprised her. Joey explained the system result. Lena listened. So why no? Because the system measures whether someone values me. It does not measure whether being with them is healthy, and I do not want to build a future around the version of Natalie who finally became ready after I stopped waiting. Lena nodded slowly. That is annoyingly reasonable. Joey took a breath. I would like to take you to dinner. Lena looked around the meeting room. We eat dinner together 4 nights a week. A date. Are you asking because Natalie is finished? No, I'm asking because I kept using the unfinished situation with Natalie as an excuse not to tell you what was already true. Lena studied him the same way she studied contracts. And what is already true? Joey smiled nervously. I like you. I trust you. I miss you when you leave a room. And when something good happens, you are the person I want to tell before the press release is written. Lena waited just long enough to make him suffer. Then she closed the contract Friday 7 o'clock. No business presentation, agreed. And if Natalie calls, I will decide whether it matters. I will not make the decision your problem. Lena smiled. Acceptable. Their first date happened at the bakery from Tenfold's original pilot. No rooftop, no luxury launch, no white dress. The owner gave them a private table after closing and refused payment because Joey had protected the business during the attack. Joey paid anyway. The system appeared. Recipient. Local business owner, genuine appreciation confirmed spend. 8610x cashback, 860. Lena saw Joey glance at the empty air. 10 times, 10 times, good. You are paying for dessert. Joey laughed. The relationship did not become perfect because the system approved the people around him. Joey still overextended himself sometimes. Lena still assumed she had to solve problems alone. They argued about work, money, public attention, and whether the broken elevator panel belonged in the lobby. But neither person used leaving as a threat. Neither created emergencies to test love. Neither treated sacrifice as proof of devotion. They learned to ask. They learned to answer honestly. They learned that being chosen did not mean becoming the only person in someone's world. It meant not being treated as disposable when another option appeared. 1 year after the rooftop engagement, Tenfold entered 5 countries. Joey's personal wealth crossed a number. He once thought belonged only to people like Evan. Money gave him status. The company gave him influence. But the most important change happened on an ordinary Tuesday night. Natalie sent a message. My car broke down. I know this is not your problem. I already called roadside assistance. I just wanted to say, I hope you are well. Joey read it. He felt no rush to rescue her. No anger. No secret hope that she needed him again. He replied, I am well. I hope you are too. Then he put the phone down and returned to the kitchen, where Lena was arguing with a recipe and losing. No system window appeared. No money returned, nothing had been spent. That was the real victory. Natalie had once been able to move Joey's entire life with one message. Now she was simply a person from his past. She never cheated on Joey. She did something quieter. She kept him close enough to save her and never close enough to choose him. The 10x Reciprocity System gave Joey his money back whenever he invested in the right people. But the greatest return was not cash. It was the life that appeared when Joey finally stopped waiting beside someone else's backup door. Cut to black.